now coming into fruition. And this is part of what the Mayans predicted for 2012, but even more so at this point, what I'm witnessing is every single day in my travels, in my students, in my conversations, I see people waking up. Even at dinner we were talking about just an experience where she was with some people, and in a very short amount of time you could just see their face change. Their eyes get softer, their cheeks get softer, their skin becomes more radiant, and they become much more alert. The shamanization of humanity will result in a hyper-alertness, internal alertness that has never been known on this planet before. And those people who we talk about who are enlightened are really internally incredibly alert. There is understanding of what is going through their body on a continual basis, and there is understanding of what is happening on the outside. How many people here believe that we are vibrational beings? How many people know that in the vibration of those of this process that we author our own lives? How many people know that we author our own lives? Oh, this is amazing. You guys rock. You guys are really cool. Okay, so you know that you cannot have an experience that you have not invited into your life. Okay, in some form or other you have to have an experience. Whatever experience you have invited into your life, as I invited the autism into my life and all the other things, including Marbeth and this moment and everything else. I invited all those things into my life. If you know the synchronicity of things, your thought is linked to your experience. You cannot, everything is twice created, first in the mind and then in the experience. Now understand that consciousness that we believe is our thoughts, most people define consciousness as thought. Thought is not consciousness. How many people know the difference? Good, okay, awesome. What is consciousness to you, Jim?
Boy, I think consciousness is the I am. I mean, it's my essence wherever I am. It's kind of me, but it's everything. I mean, it's just kind of everything alive that I can...
Okay, cool. All right. Mary Ann? Is it Mary Ann?
Mary.
Mary, okay, Mary.
What do you say?
Okay. That's a good thing. All right, anybody else? Somebody else raise their hand? Somebody say?
Being awakened.
Being awakened,
and
yes.
knowing that we're all one.
Okay.
It's all connected.
Knowing that you're, well, how do we know that we're all one? That knowledge is what people have been
The
wanting
connection.
to get since the very beginning.
You can kind of feel it, see it. If you wake up to it, you know how you relate.
You cannot be enlightened by thinking your way into enlightenment. You have to feel your way into enlightenment.
You can feel it.
Yes, you can feel your way into enlightenment. And also understand that enlightenment never comes through ritual. You guys can practice anything you want forever, and that will not give you access to enlightenment. Enlightenment comes through inquiry. It comes through the inquisition or the inquiry of different states of being. Okay? It comes to opening yourself up to the questions of lifetime. Okay? That's when it comes. It emerges by itself. You can take steps and you can get closer and closer and make yourself more and more ready, but it never comes through the ritual. It will always come in a surprise moment because it's the unknown. You get thrown into the unknown, and we cannot recognize the unknown with the known. Otherwise it wouldn't be the known. The unknown. Okay? So the emergence of the unknown comes when we have given up all resistance or every other kind of experience to try to do it ourselves. When we surrender to the higher power. Okay? That's when the unknown comes into existence. And when we come into the unknown, we actually find that we are quite shocked. Oftentimes it will be a shock, it will be discomfort, it'll make us laugh, but ultimately it frees us. It frees us to allow ourselves to know that we are more than this physicality. It frees us to know that there are other planes of existence out there. It frees us to know that we are love, because we couldn't enter the unknown without being love. Okay? And it's not about worthiness. Okay? It is not about being worthy. You are all worthy, we are all worthy on this planet. Not a soul on this planet is unworthy of having love. Not a soul on this planet is unworthy of enlightenment. We are by nature source energy, and by being source energy, we are actually a piece of source. And so, in the same way, the ray of light is the same as every ounce of light that comes from the sun. No matter where it goes in the universe, it will always have the properties of the sun. No matter what we do, no matter what we experience, good, bad, ugly, indifferently, we will always have the same properties as source. meaning we can be creators, meaning we can create in any way we desire we can create. Most of us have been dulled into our non-ability to create, or our inability to create only partially. So when you step into this awakening, you find that your mind gets much sharper. You find that you become sensitive to all things. You find that you feel the aliveness of other things. You feel that you are in a space where this space and you are one, but the experience of everything is you, that oneness. So there is no separation. What most people define as heaven is a place of separation, of non-separation from God. It is a union in which you see and feel only the experience of yourself in different forms. And that's how you become the understanding of God. And it is given to you, but it is also used simultaneously. So it is a co-creation in this process. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to talk about when I came here. I mean, I have a PowerPoint set up, but this is much more interesting to me as we go through the exploration, because everything has energy, and I'm responding to the energy in the room. So part of this life process that we are going through together here, because we're all in this together, there's nobody who is absent from this situation, there's nobody who is not experiencing this simultaneously. We were all called to be in this room because nothing happens by accident. There are no coincidences. And if you trace back the way you think, you will find that some thought had some precognition of this moment. So if you always want to experience something that you haven't done before, you know, it is incumbent upon you to know the elements of creation. How many people know the sequence in the elements of creation? How many people know that the energy that flows, that creates galaxies, go through you? Same energy. How many people have felt that? Yes? Okay. There is part of this shamanization is the realization that there is a thing called the I am, which is consciousness. And consciousness is not thought. Most of us think that consciousness is thought. Consciousness is this field of energy which is constantly in motion, changes forms by our unit of consciousness, by our unit of source, which we are, a unit of source, that exists in a field of timeless space, timeless non-space. It isn't even space. It exists in this moment all the time. And that we can, by deliberate thinking, okay, experience anything we want to experience. And the only limitation, as Marbeth was saying, and I'm adding to what she already said, the only limitation is what we place upon ourselves. So how do we get clear of that limitation? You know, in my opinion, it is about reality creation. We can create any reality we want. From this moment on, you can create any kind of reality you want with your life. You do not have to be limited to your job, to your relationships, to your experiences, to anything else. And by the time this evening is over, I'm going to show you one or two reality creation exercises which I believe can move you into a transformation. My purpose is to transform you on the spot instantaneously if you can. If you can open yourself up to it, I hope that you will experience this transformation right here, right now, at this time. So part of this life that we are living here is something that is called the I am. Consciousness is an I am. What that means is that if you come down to it, the words I am were put into the physical plane by the story of Moses and God of the burning bush when he asked Moses, what is your name? What can I call you? And God said, I am that I am. That was the first physical vibration of God. Now we all believe we're physical beings, right? We understand that all we are is energy. We are ideas having ideas, and this is just one idea that we happen to have in an endless eternity, really, infinity. So when God put the words I am into the vibration of the earth plane or the physical plane, that is God's energy. So every time you use the words I am, you are actually moving energy, no matter what. It is the action and the connection and the announcement to God to what you want to experience. So when you say I am broke, you are going to experience being broke. When you say I am healthy, you're going to experience being healthy. When you say I am having fun, you're going to experience that having fun. And this is in thought and verbality, and I'll go into that in just a moment. But every time you use the words I am, you are initiating the energy of God in your life. And it's instantaneous. There isn't a buffer of time. The only buffer of time is what we put there.
Twilight Zone. We are not.
You've just passed the signpost. Up ahead in the distance.
That was good.
Right time, right place. Thank you. So every time you use the words I am, you're actually announcing to Source what it is you want to experience. So when you say I am beautiful, I am broke, I am depressed, I am happy, that is what you're going to experience. So my first suggestion to all of you is to understand to be consciously cognizant of the way you use your I am. Because we walk around all day long saying, I am really disgusted with this job, I can't stand this situation, I am feeling so horrible, I am angry, God am I angry, so on and so forth. We walk around not conscious of the effect of those words, because those are words. And there are only 3 causative factors on this earth plane. 3, and that's all there are. Everything else is an effect. The 3 causative factors are our beingness, our state of mind, or our state of being, which is stronger than our state of mind, but the beingness, which is the combination of your physical, your mental, and your emotional self, which is the vibration that you radiate and that you offer to God. Okay, that's a vibration. And you have the choice over how you feel in any of those 3 places. So the I am takes the state of mind, okay, it creates a vibration. Now you cannot do a state of mind. You cannot get a state of mind. You can only be a state of mind. You can't do happiness. You can't get happiness. You have to make a decision to be happy. It's just as simple as that. And there's nothing outside of you that needs to be done for you to be happy. It's just simply a decision. There's nothing outside of you that needs to be done for you to be wealthy. It's just a decision. Be wealth right now, this instant. Because it's never going to happen in the future. It has to happen in the moment. The point of power is always right now. Never in the future. Never in the past. Because there isn't any. Einstein proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything happens simultaneously in the eternal now. There is no past, there is no future. No matter what it looks like, whatever the illusion is, it doesn't exist. So if you want to be happy, you simply make a decision in this moment to be happy. If you want to be wealthy, you make a decision in this moment to be wealth. There isn't anything else. And so by holding that decision, by holding the vision of that decision, those things must, by universal law, come to you. So if you want to be happy, all you have to do is take a little index card and start saying in the morning, in the afternoon, every time you get a chance, when you break from a task, when you get off the can, or when you get on the can, or when you're eating breakfast or whatever, you start repeating to yourself, I am happy, or I am wealth, or I am joy, or I am fun, or I am making $1 million, or I am experiencing great love, or I am attracting my soulmate. My suggestion to you is to take a couple of index cards, okay, and write down as many wonderful I ams as you want to experience. The desire itself will activate something, but the words I am will activate the energy that brings it to you. Now when you activate an I am, the first thing that happens is that you get an image of yourself in that place. Okay? I am joy. You will see an image internally of yourself being joyful. Okay? That is the thing that penetrates your subconscious mind to move the energy toward achieving that and attracting that into your life. The self-image is radically important. You cannot have a different experience without having a radically different I am. Okay? Everything that you do comes initially and stems from the words I am, which is consciousness, which is not thought, but thought is the second, okay, response to the I am. So when you say I am a great salesperson, what happens is the I am, which sponsors everything on the planet and sponsors everything in the universe, elicits in you and shows you and gives you a picture, okay, of that experience. And then it gives you the thoughts relating to what you have announced you want to experience, because it's a giving universe. All it wants to do is give you stuff. It doesn't want anything in return, it just wants to give. There's nobody out there judging you saying you're going to be punished for that or you're going to be rewarded for that. That's not how it works. It just says yes to everything, no matter what it is you want, no matter what it is you think. So if you say, I am a great doctor, yes.
I was just wondering, like, I have a vision board.
Yes.
And so I put a lot of these kinds of things on there, and if I have that intention on there, or I have I am,
yes,
any of these things,
yes,
I put it like near me,
yes,
so it's just there by my energy.
Right.
Do I I need to, I mean, I do look at it anyway and just kind of
Yes.
say things, but is it important or does it matter if I'm saying it out loud, the different things often, or is it just, it's there and the universe knows, you know?
The universe knows, it knows what you want, and your higher self knows what you want long before you do. And in scientific terms, your higher self is thousands of times faster on what you want than what you do. And they've proven that scientifically, that, you know, when you try to get a thought from your mind to your finger, it takes 0.05 seconds for you to wiggle your finger from the thought. But when you leave it alone, when they trace it even back further than that, the actual chemistry and the initial spark from the dendrites and neurons have come 1,000 times faster than that to even initiate the first part of that thought to wiggle your finger. So your higher self knows these things long before you do. But yes, the principle, there are two principles here involved, and that, you know, understand that if you understand principles, they work for everybody, every time, all the time, wherever you are. So the first principle is that in this world we get what we are and not what we want. So in other words, we do not get what we want because we desire it, we get because we become. In other words, we internalize that thing. That's what a vision board is for. It's for you to be able to internalize the image. And I'll show you how to do that in a more effective way by the time this is over, okay? That's one thing. The second thing is, yes, if you state your I am that, identity and reality are the same thing. Have you guys ever heard this before? Anybody ever heard this before?
No.
Identity is reality. Whatever you say you are, you are. Okay, so be very cognizant of the way you think, because your thoughts put things into motion for your experience at the end. There's cause. There's two primary laws in the universe. The first one is the law of being, which is the I am. And whatever you say you are, especially in that moment. Okay, the only reason we don't get some of the things we want is that we contradict it. Because one moment you say, I am wealth, the next moment you say, well, look at my bank account, I'm really broke. You know, so you contradict it and you wash it out. But if you can hold consistently a vision of your I am, you will experience that regardless. By universal law you must. Yes. Jim?
Just to jump in on that, years ago, I knew a few people that weren't, but they decided